The topic is role of technology in real estate. And our speaker is Mr. Omar Abedin, Chief Marketing Officer, Grana Group. From 2010 to 2014, Mr. Omar Abedin advised brands across multiple categories and on various aspects of marketing and sales. He has developed and launched 3 startups, including 800 Battery, the Middle East's first battery replacement service. In 2014, he joined the newly formed AI Al Ittihad Credit Bureau in the UAE, which is a federal government entity tasked with the collection, collation, and dissemination of the credit in the UAE. And he recently published a book titled Building Brand You. Over the past 25 years, Mr. Umar has worked with organizations that value innovation, insight-based decision making, team development, and drive towards developing powerful brands. He has worked as Chief Executive Officer of Starcom Media West, Pakistan's second largest media agency, and he has been developing plans and buying media for clients like Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Mondelez, Royal Friesland, Campana, National Foods, Zong, Samsung, and list goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Umar. He has also worked as Director Marketing at Careem before joining Chief Marketing Officer at Grana Group.
So, we're going to talk about something that is not really that interesting until you need to go and buy or sell a property. And at that point, that particular decision takes over your life. How many of you, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being absolutely abysmal, worst category to deal with, and 10 being, oh my God, I love interacting with this segment and I would love to be in this segment every day. How many of you think that real estate falls on one side of the spectrum or the other in Pakistan? 1. Anyone else? Any 10s in the room? Any 9s in the room? Any 8s in the room? Any 5s in the room? 5. Okay, I mean, that's a tolerable situation. But let's face it. Excuse me. If you find out that your best friend is going to marry a real estate broker, what is your reaction, male or female? Or if you find out that your daughter is going to marry a real estate broker? I mean, it's challenging, right? There are issues with the segment. But this is, I think, the biggest opportunity that we can talk about. So, why is real estate important? And by the way, I've been in the real estate industry for all of 6 weeks. So cut me some slack, okay? I'm here representing a group that has aspirations towards changing things in Pakistan. But then I think everyone in this room has those aspirations as well. So I feel like I'm talking to a like-minded audience. I see people in the room who are quite well known for disruption. So anything that I say here today, please take it with a grain of salt. This is, I guess, our way of starting a dialogue around what is real estate and why is it important. So let me ask you this. Why is real estate important? Anyone? Absolutely. So for many of us, the day that we buy a home for our parents, or the day that we are able to buy our own home, is a landmark day. It's a momentous occasion. And let's face it, the majority of people in Pakistan will never own their own home. They cannot afford it. But it remains an aspiration. It remains a dream, and that's why it's important. Answer this question for me. What is the total value of all assets in the world today? That's a lot of trillions. That's a lot of zeros, right? Start from here and keep going till there, and that's how many zeros there are. Can anyone tell me what is the value of all the gold ever discovered in the world till today? $7 trillion in history. It's that big. So what do you think real estate is worth as a percentage of the 315 to 320 trillion. Now I'm afraid to click this thing more than once. So of this amount, of the total wealth in the world, what percentage is real estate? So you will be amazed to know that it is somewhere in the region of 85 to 90% of the total value of all assets on planet Earth. And if you start thinking about it, it's actually not that weird. It's actually not that weird, but the first time I heard this stat, I was like, wait, what? All right, so let's talk about Pakistan. What does anyone from their high school days or college days remember the total surface area of Pakistan? Now, I'm going to come back to that in just 1 second. Globally, real estate is growing at about 5%. 5% year-on-year value growth on average. Obviously, there are some areas that are doing very well, and there are other areas that are not doing well. What do you think is the growth rate of real estate in Pakistan? The number is about 20% on average. Make sense? अगर आपने real estate में पैसे लगाए हैं और आपने 20% नहीं देखी है, इसका मतलब है कि आपने बुरा फैसला किया. On average, it should be higher than that. There are pockets of Pakistan that are delivering much higher growth than this. But here's the thing. The rest of the world sees Pakistan as a high-risk investment destination. Otherwise, a place like London, which has 3 to 4% appreciation year on year, would not be the recipient of billions upon billions of dollars of real estate investment every year. It's one of the most desired real estate investment destinations. Why? Because it's London. It's the brand, right? Everyone wants to be in Belgravia or Astoria or Mayfair or Park Lane or, where all of our rich and famous have homes. Sometimes multiple homes. Acha ji. As Monis pointed out, the total surface area is indeed 796,000 square kilometers. The total planned urban area is 3 to 3,500 square kilometers. If you are good at math, you will realize this is less than 0.5% of the whole country, which is insane. It's that big. Now I have another question for you. Of this planned urban area, how much do you think is actually developed? 1,300 square kilometers in a country the size of Pakistan, which is, again, the head of a pin on the back of a flea on the back of a cat. Like, it's really small. But here's a question for you. What do you think is the value of that real estate? So the total planned area of Pakistan, which represents planned and developed area, which is 0.17% of the country, is worth a stupid number of zeros. Now do you understand why real estate is important? मुझे 6 हफ्ते लगे इस बात को समझने में. आज मैंने आपको 1 घंटे में समझा दिया. ठीक है? अब आप जिस सोशल गैदरिंग में जाएंगे आप ये कोट कर सकते हैं. इसलिए रियल एस्टेट हमारे लिए from an economic development perspective ज़रूरी है. But right now the property portal is pretty much just like any other marketplace. Now I'd like to talk to you about potentially the most exciting thing to happen in real estate in Pakistan. We have a unit called PropShore. PropShore is a group of people, about 230, 240 people, who are working on digitizing the entire real estate, planned real estate of Pakistan. And they've been working for more than 2 years now, and in more than, I want to say, the top 7 or the top 9 cities of Pakistan. And so far, they have already digitized 90% of the planned real estate in Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad, and Peshawar. And the idea is that by the end of the year 2020, this will be 100% coverage. Now, I don't know if you fully understand what that means, or if you've entered that semi-comatose state that inevitably follows a good lunch. But let me try and explain that. Every piece of property that you might want to buy or sell will have its own ledger of documentation. If you want to check on the status, the legal status of your property, you can do it in 5 minutes. We've done more than 2 million residential and commercial properties in Pakistan in the last 2 years. And this service is about to be launched in the next 2 months. It will be available on our app as literally, I want to know everything about this property, click here. And you'll be able to see who owns it, what their status is, if it's on rent, kitne karaye pe hai, kitni last time sale hui thi, all of that good stuff. Now, if once you start doing that, how do you evade taxes? Expect a complete blockchain-based system in place for all real estate transactions within the next 3 to 5 years, inshallah. Now, one of our sister concerns is called the Iqbal Institute of Policy Studies. And IPS has no commercial agenda whatsoever. We, the chairman of the group, Shafiq, has written a vision 2030 for the country, not for real estate, but covering about 250 sectors of the economy. And in order to make that a reality, because everyone can talk about a 10-year vision, because 10 saal kisne dekhe? Pakistan mein to kisi ne nahi dekhe. But to bring that to life, we're doing something called RE 2020, which is next year, which is a 1-year plan that is basically bringing together academia, private sector, and public sector into one big partnership. And it's taking a lot of different forms. RE 2020 is one of the reasons I actually joined Grana. I was told they want to launch 100 projects in Pakistan, 100 real estate projects valued between 10 and 20 billion US dollars next December. At which point I started laughing, because Grana in 3.5 years has done 6 projects, 4 malls, and 2 hotels. तो मैंने कहा आपने 3.5 साल में आपने 6 प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, आप 100 प्रोजेक्ट एक साल कैसे करेंगे? And the answer was, हम अकेले थोड़ी करेंगे. It's an industry initiative. So the idea is anyone who's in real estate is welcome to come forward and pitch a project. And if you do your due diligence and the feasibility is strong, it will be presented to global investors in December 2020. Does that sound kind of ridiculous? It is kind of ridiculous. But आज मैं आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, 1 साल के बाद इंशाल्लाह फिर खड़ा होऊंगा, and I'll tell you whether we managed to do it or not. Fair enough? If you link academia with products like PropSure and sectors outside of real estate, such as power projects, such as sustainable engineering, all of a sudden you start building an ecosystem that actually helps the country get to where it needs to be. And I don't know what the situation will be in 2030, but I'm hopeful, as I'm sure all of you are, that we as a country will be able to get back to our 60s when we were known as Asian tigers, when people looked to Pakistan for strategic growth, when Korea came to us and said, "Ooh, we like your 5-year plan, can we have that please?" And we said, "Sure, here you go." And then they went away and became South Korea, and we went, meh. Because implementation is everything. I've already talked about the digitization of land records, but roughly 36% of the overall population lives in the urban areas today. 75 million odd people, according to the last census, right? Does anyone know how many town planners there are in Pakistan? Does anyone know what a town planner is? You have an idea what a town planner is. They plan cities. How many of them are there in a country like Pakistan with a population of 200 million plus? 1,600 are the total number of land planners in Pakistan, of which only 600 are actually registered with the Town Planning Commission of Pakistan. 600. Well, on my YouTube channel, you will find a video of Town Planning Day, which we held last month, in which you will realize the room is more than half full of women. Of the 600 that are registered in Pakistan, 121 are working with Grana Group in our town planning initiatives that we're launching. So basically 1/5 of the registered town planning population is working with us, because we realized you have to do this from the ground up. You can't do this at a national level. It has to be done at a city level and at a town level. The amazing news is today, literally today, Khan Saab went to NUST and inaugurated what is called NSTP, the nation's first science and technology park. NUST Science and Technology Park. It's an incredible innovation, and we as a company have taken 4,000 plus square feet of space to set up our first AI and blockchain lab, innovation lab. And this has been inaugurated today, literally today, this morning. My team is there. I'm here talking to you guys about it. The second largest members of this, of NSTP, are IBM. And then there's a whole bunch of other companies and corporates that are partnering with NUST in this area. So the beautiful advantage we have there is you've got a huge supply of NUST engineers and students available for projects and for recruitment. So this lab will host over 100 people in the next 3 to 6 months. And this is going to be our real attempt to create a blockchain ledger-based system that will help to move the entire manual system that we have of filing and files related to real estate into the 21st century. We would love to partner with anyone who is transparent, has integrity, and is willing and able to move into the 21st century. Anyone who has a vested interest in keeping us back in the Stone Ages, I have no interest in partnering with. That's as much as I can say at this point. Thank you. अच्छा जी, AR, VR के ऊपर बहुत सारी चीज़ें हम कर रहे हैं, and the idea is that we are creating spaces within our sales centers and our business centers to allow people to come in, sit down, and actually do a complete walkthrough of any apartment, any property that they want to invest in. And this is not really cutting edge stuff. 2 events that took place at NUST recently. One is called the World Town Planning Day. Again, there are videos available. I won't go into details, but during this event, the Town Planning Forum in Pakistan declared an urban emergency in Pakistan. Since you all live in Karachi, or at least know Karachi, you know that we live in a state of emergency every day. Islamabad, on the other hand, was built as a planned city. And it's very easy to understand, but if you look at the size of it, Islamabad is this big. Literally. And Karachi is this big. In terms of population, in terms of geography, in terms of everything. So the problems of mega cities like Karachi cannot be replicated or easily understood when you look at smaller towns. And in fact, many people in the West have no idea of the challenges that we face with cities like Karachi, with New Delhi, with Mumbai, with cities in Brazil and South America and so on. These cities are beyond control. And if someone, aka the people in this room and the people that make decisions, do not get serious about fixing Karachi, or at least setting it on the right path, this city will become ungovernable. Some would argue it is already ungovernable. But hopefully, I think that it's maybe not too late. The second thing, in 2004, 3 industries were identified as potentially changing the future of the world: nano, bio, and geo. GIS refers to Geographical Information Systems. And the amount of impact that a company like Google Maps has had on our lives cannot be counted. Am I right? How many apps do you use on a daily basis that is driven off of geographical data? Right now, that number is very small. So there may be a Kareem, there may be a Google Maps, there may be an Uber, and a few others. And that's about it. But very, very soon in Pakistan, you will be able to put a polygon around pretty much any space and talk to customers as they enter or exit that space, and basically have a dialogue with them based on where they are. This space is exploding. At GIS Day, one of the most interesting inkishafat that I had was, there's a boy at NUST जिसने एक उर्दू की प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज बनाई है. The language is called Alif. अगर आपको मौका मिले, please look him up. This is the first actual programming language in Urdu. When you combine a programming language in Urdu along with Google, which has enabled voice search in Urdu, and you have a population which is not able to really speak English, but all of a sudden they can place an order on, let's say, Daraz in Urdu eventually. That's the short-term dream, right? And you have no idea the level of empowerment that that segment of our society will, just a feeling of accomplishment that they have entered the internet age. ये हम लोग तो we take it for granted. That tabqa does not. For them, it's like a whole world opening up for them. It is actually quite revolutionary. Artificial intelligence, everyone's talking about it. Big data, everyone's talking about it. The reality is that the implementation in Pakistan is way, way short of where it needs to be. So we've actually created something called IRA. Not something we call her, a person. Artificially intelligent real estate advisor. So pretty soon when you call our call center, you will speak to a lady named Ira, who will actually not be a real person, although we think of her as real. She's actually named after the daughter of one of our directors. Along with that, leveraging blockchain to create this distributed ledger and bring some transparency to this segment. And I think AR and VR is only the start when it comes to creating sales and marketing experiences that really make a difference to consumers in their decision making. Thank you for your patience, and for those of you who are awake, double thank you.